The wind tugged at Luna's hair as she held on tight to her silver kite string. It was an ordinary kite except for one extraordinary thing. This kite could zip all the way to the moon. It had been Luna's great-grandfather's invention, the famed space explorer Astroalgae. He designed this kite to carry important messages across the galaxy. And tonight, Luna was delivering one of those messages. She closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and gave the string a mighty pull. Whoosh! The kite shot up like a rocket, carrying with it a tiny scroll tied to its tail. Luna giggled as she watched it disappear into the inky black sky. Inside the kite basket, the scroll unfurled, revealing Luna's message to her friend Cosmo. They were best friends despite living on opposite sides of the Milky Way. And every full moon, Luna sent him a letter about life on Earth. Today's letter told Cosmo about her new puppy, Patches, with his floppy ears and wet nose, how he licked her face and chewed her slippers. But most importantly, she told him about her fear of the upcoming annual Space Spectacular, a dazzling fireworks display that humans put on every year to celebrate the moon landing. For some reason, the thought of so many humans crowding the beach to watch the fireworks made Luna's stomach flip-flop. She'd much rather stay home with Patches, but Cosmo had invited her to watch the fireworks from his backyard, which had a giant trampoline. Luna hoped her letter would cheer up Cosmo. He'd been feeling blue lately because his dad, Commander Comet, was on a top-secret mission and wouldn't be home for the Space Spectacular. Luna knew what it felt like to miss an important event because of her dad. He was an astronaut who traveled to distant galaxies to collect space rocks. Just then, something small and furry darted across the moon, startling Luna. She gasped and dropped her binoculars. It was a moon mouse, a small creature with big dreams and an even bigger appetite for mischief. This one was wearing a spacesuit almost as cool as Luna's. It had patches of planets and moons, and a cape that flowed behind it. Startled, Luna fell backwards. And when she looked back at the moon mouse was holding something in its paws. It was the scroll from her kite. The moon mouse had swiped her letter to the moon. Just then, another moon mouse popped out from behind a crater. "Gotcha!" it squeaked, before darting away on a cloud scooter. The clouds were so thick tonight they'd become a playground for the moon mice. Their scooters were made from condensed milk, which made them taste like sweet caramel. The thought of someone eating her letter made Luna's stomach twist with worry. It contained very personal information, things she didn't want the whole moon to know. Like that she sometimes wet the bed, or that she'd rather have a pet dinosaur than a dog. And so she did the only logical thing she could think of. She raced to her room to get her cloud scooter. It was made of freeze-dried ice cream, which tasted like vanilla cream. She clipped on her helmet, buckled up, and zoomed out the window. As she flew through the clouds, Luna called out, "Hey, Moon Mouse, give me back my letter!" The little creature swerved to avoid her, giggling all the while. It led her on a wild goose chase over mountains of cheese and marshmallow rivers. The Moon Mouse finally stopped at a giant candy castle guarded by gingerbread men. One of them blocked Luna's path. "Sorry, kiddo, but you can't come in without a password," Luna thought quickly. "I'm here to deliver a letter to the king." The gingerbread man's eyes widened. "Oh, really? Well, what's the password?" "UNCANDY," Luna said, spelling out the word. The gingerbread man scribbled the letters on a piece of parchment and handed it to her. Carefully, Luna pushed open the candy castle doors and gasped. Inside was the biggest post office she'd ever seen. Glowworms with tiny magnifying glasses were sorting through piles of letters, parcels, and packages. A sign above their desks read, "Moon Post Delivery Service." One glowworm raised its head. "Can I help you, Luna?" she asked. "I'm looking for the moon mouse who stole this letter. It's very important." "Oh, you mean Chester?" The glowworm pointed to a tiny figure scampering up a licorice whip. "He's the fastest sorter we have, but also the biggest prankster. I'm sure he just wants to play a joke on you. Why don't you come along and we'll help you find him?" The glowworm handed Luna a flashlight. "Be careful, though. The moon mice are very shy and will hide if they hear you." As they entered the licorice forest, Luna noticed hundreds of glowing envelopes stuck to the walls. Each one had a special delivery stamp that read, "Do not open until midnight." She realized that all these letters were love letters, notes of secret admiration that humans wrote to each other but didn't want to send until midnight. That way, if their crush didn't feel the same way, the letter would disappear with the morning tide. Suddenly, Luna spotted Chester hiding between two lollipops. "Gotcha," she whispered, reaching for the letter. but he scrambled away, dropping the scroll in the process. "Wait, I didn't mean to steal your letter. I just wanted to show you something really cool." Chester gestured to the glowing letters with his paw. "These love letters, they're so exciting. I just wish I could see what's inside them." One of the glowworms peeked out from behind a candy cane. "You can't read these letters until midnight. If you do, they'll turn to dust." Chester looked ashamed. "I'm sorry, Luna. I got carried away. Here, let me show you around the post office." He led them through mazes of chocolate bars and over marshmallow puddles to a huge ice cream sundae. "This is our clock tower. It chimes when it's midnight so we know to collect the undelivered letters." Luna looked at her watch. It was nearly midnight. "I'd better get going if I want to catch the fireworks." She thanked Chester for returning her letter and promised not to tell anyone about the moon mice. Then she raced home on her cloud scooter, stopping just in time to change into her space spectacular outfit. It was a silver astronaut suit covered in patches of stars and planets, complete with magnetic boots. Luna had chosen it because it reminded her of the brave astronauts who'd ventured to the moon long before she'd been born. She joined Cosmo and his family in their backyard, and together they bounced on the trampoline as the sky lit up with brilliant colors. It was beautiful, just like the fireworks display her father had made when he visited last month. As the night wore on, Luna told Cosmo all about her adventures in the moon post office. "It sounds amazing," Cosmo said, his eyes shining. "Maybe one day I can visit too." When Luna looked closely, she could see the faint outline of a smile on his face. He was no longer feeling blue. Suddenly, a familiar shape streaked across the sky. Luna waved her kite string, sending a shower of sparks floating upwards. "Hey, Cosmo, look!" she shouted, grinning from ear to ear. They watched as the sparks formed a message in the night sky, spelling out, "Thanks for the adventure, Luna." Then, as if by magic, the message vanished. Before long, the fireworks ended and the humans began to leave. Luna walked Cosmo home, and as they approached his house, they saw a familiar figure peeking out from behind a tree. "Hey, Moon Mouse," Luna called out, waving. Chester scurried down the tree and approached them cautiously. He held out a small package. "I found this in your garden. You must have dropped it during the fireworks." Carefully, Luna unwrapped the package to reveal a shiny silver coin. On one side was a picture of the Earth, and on the other, a detailed image of a moon mouse wearing a spacesuit. It was a lunar coin, a special treat given to kids for being so brave. Luna had dropped it during her big adventure to the moon post office. Chester had found it and decided to return it. "Thank you," she said, handing him a silver star-shaped sticker. "Here, you can put it on your spacesuit." Chester beamed, then dashed away as quickly as he'd arrived. Luna smiled. She loved exploring the moon, especially with a brave, honest, and curious friend by her side.